Okay, so I just got done with one live stream and I had some thoughts and I just wanted to get those out. Now, there's another topic that I'd like to discuss for a minute. It's quiet. I don't have a whole lot of other things going on right now, so I'm going to take the time that I have right now while it's quiet, while I've been thinking, and my thoughts are clear. Okay. Now, if you're just listening to this as replay, please don't forget to hit the like, share this out. Hopefully, this might strike a chord or two and get people thinking, at least get people talking. What's up, Jenna? Now, this is a conversation that has been had for quite some time, and I do think it is relevant to this month, right? Not just because of what's going on this year, but because a lot of the things that have been coming across, both in the media and the algorithms and through history, seem to really be kicking off right now, right? And I thought about looking at and discussing the topic of skin, okay? Something that's very near and dear to us, something we're born with, nothing we can really change, and some of the narratives that have gone on. I know it is, darling. You got a birthday coming up pretty soon. Now, what's interesting is that over the course of certainly our lifetime, we've learned that the world is a very different place than what we think, both in terms of how we perceive the world, how the world perceives us, and the things that we're taught. Now, one of the things that we're taught from a very early age essentially is who we are and how we identify in this world, right? Some of that comes from culture, some of that comes from our family, a lot of it comes from the people that we interact with and the lives that we lead. Now, something I think that is a bigger concept and a bigger topic is the experiences that we have, the things that each of us go through as people. And, it's really interesting. It is interesting just in terms of how our experiences shape us as people, right? Each of us has a different story. Some are shared experiences that many of us, and certainly that were born in the 70s, have in common, right? And I was speaking on a book that Miss Queen Sunkissed was referencing on some of her content on her channel in regards to raising children and parenting. And those are all experiences, right, throughout the course of our lives that shape us into who we are today, who we were yesterday, and who we will become tomorrow. And I do find it interesting. What's up, Robert? Good to see you. Oh, Jen, I'm sorry, honey. That's rough to hear. I hope you're doing a little bit better. Now, when it comes to our skin and our experiences, there's a lot to be said, right? There's a lot to be said to walk a mile in somebody's shoes, right? A lot of adages that come to mind, right? Sayings and things like that. Don't judge a book by its cover, walk a mile in somebody's shoes. And a lot of it comes down to not only our experiences, but also who we are as people, right? And the things that we're taught and the things that we experience firsthand. And, it does come down to a lot of the things that we're taught, a lot of the things that we learn. Now, the beauty of learning things is that if it doesn't work, you can learn a new way, right? But the one thing that doesn't change while you're learning through this whole process is your skin. You can't change how you show up in the world, but you really can change how you choose to be in the world. And one of the things that I've learned over the course of my life is that hell or high water, it really comes down to what I choose to be, who I choose to be, and how my thoughts and my choices and my experiences shape who I am. And one of the things that I've found in my soul searching, if you will, being out there in the world and trying to find my peace and my happiness in the world through gardening and through pushing myself to new experiences and to try new things, is that a lot of this agenda stuff just kind of falls away. Jimmy, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Happy belated birthday. And just this eclectic little group here. Jenna is a chronic health warrior. Jimmy deals with life in a little bit different way. He's a young one, for all intents and purposes. He's very young, but very wise for his years, right? Jenna, I've got a dehydrator here, and once I figure out how to get this sucker going, buddy, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm gonna send people stuff, right? I just canned one of my first attempts at a homemade marinade, and I actually used it to make a very delicious roast that I was able to make with a lot of interesting items that I had here. Making some mullein tincture from some mullein leaf, good stuff. And a lot of the things that I learned through Robert's group, through the homesteading Shed Wars gardening competition, have actually helped me, right? Now, I know that there are a lot of things that we all struggle with, right? Whether it's trying to feel better, trying to live in a secure place, trying to have things and grow things that bring us peace of mind, right? And it seems as though the world is really pushing against us. The agendas that are at play are really pushing against us. Robert can tell you, I can tell you, a lot of folks out here can tell you that, there are bigger things at play. When you've got a global collective trying to tell us that farming is a problem and we rely on food because we're human beings to survive. And they're telling us that farming is the problem, right? It makes me go back to these old movies, this old propaganda of like the Soylent Green and the Matrix, where everybody gets these little nutrition cubes and all that fun stuff, right? Jimmy, I've been prepping. I haven't stopped. I've been prepping for decades now, in small ways and in big ones. Now, one of the things that I've definitely learned is certainly through the gardening group is that there are holistic things that can help us, right? There's things that are out here that can help all of us. And I relied, and I've been pretty forthright about some of the health struggles and things that I've dealt with. And the way that it seems is that it seems like they're throwing all sorts of fun flags at us and telling us, be ready, be ready, be ready, right? Nothing that we don't know already, nothing we haven't heard a million times over. But I have learned that, there are better things out here than just relying on the pharma. I had to use myself as my own guinea pig, right? And believe it or not, the natural stuff actually worked better for me than months and months now of actual pharmaceutical antibiotics. Now, I'm not putting this out here to tell everybody, get rid of all your crap, okay? I'm just sharing my experience as one person. But I know that after learning what some of these agendas are, right? Pumping us full of all of this crap, keeping us all in a state of worry, fear, if you will. Fear does a lot to our bodies. The agendas that we've seen play out through history have a lot to play in that because they don't want people communicating. They don't want us looking at things. They don't want us to talk to each other, let alone, actually get to a point to where we don't have to rely on them. We can do it ourselves, right? And that kind of goes back to the video I did before about giving away our consent. When we give away our consent, we are putting our lives in the hands of others and allowing others to essentially make choices for us. Now, last I checked, pretty much all of us are grown adults, right? The only people that we have a right to make choices for would be our children. And we've seen and heard these people tell us we don't know any better, right? We're going to kill ourselves with trying to eat meat. We're going to kill ourselves with all of the cow farts and all of this other nonsense that we're supposed to eat bugs and, they know better. Now, if they knew better, why are they spending billions to build bunkers? Why are they stockpiling? If it's all bullshit, then why are they doing the same thing that they are trying to make all of us look crazy for? Kat, good to see you. Hopefully you caught the Ohio sheriff thing. I know you're in the same algorithm as I am. Robert, I know you are. Jenna, Jimmy, I know you guys are. You probably all seen it. I actually left a link to the article with my Twitter. And once I learn how to do this stuff a little bit better, I'll be able to drop links over here too. But I'm not quite there yet. So bear with me. But you can look it up. Okay. There was a big meeting in DC all these sheriffs, another agenda, in my opinion, to try to tell us what we pretty much have known for a while. We're on our own, right? We are doing our best to survive. And through our experiences, through our shared experiences, through our interactions with each other, through our very voices, and even this platform, we have the ability to have these conversations, at least to start them, right? Because one of the things that they don't like collectively is when we conspire, right? The root of the word conspiracy is conspire. And what that comes down to is actually having conversations with others, to sit and have a conversation. Now, when people can sit and talk about shared experiences, about collective experiences, and share knowledge, that is the beauty right there. That is the beauty in what they don't want. Because I said this to somebody the other day. Each finger on your hand is independent of itself, right? But when they work together, all of those individual pieces come together to make a fist. And that fist can be powerful. Okay? There is more power in the collective than there is with the people trying to tell us that we're all each other's enemies. So when we get back to the topic of the agendas, right? They've been on one for a while. And if you follow some of the soft disclosure, you see the purge, the forever purge. What was the topic of the forever purge? The point of the forever purge? Demonizing people coming into this country from Mexico. It was about the border. And that was a couple years ago, y'all. What are we hearing now? Civil war. What are they talking about? Civil war. Okay. There is absolutely an agenda. And if all we can see is red or blue, if all we can see is skin color, they've won. Okay? They've already won. If you can look past all of that, if you can put all of that crap, the agendas aside, and look at it for what it is a direction. A revolution would be great. That's actually one of the posts before that I spoke about with my last video before the one I did just a little bit ago, right? About the revolution that's going on over in Europe. The farmers saying pretty much to their governments collectively, we're not going to consent. We need to eat. Our families need to eat. The people in our countries need to eat. And they've made war. They want war on farmers. What happens when you create a global food shortage? People starve. There are a lot of countries that we rely on for food. A lot of places that we get food from. Not too many take ours because of all the crap that we put in it that makes us sick, that destroys our immune systems, that kills us each and every day. And there's a lot of healing power in the things that we can grow. There's a lot of freedom in that, right? And it really doesn't matter whether you're talking about freedom seeds, whether you're talking about food, whether you're talking about, holistic seeds. Pretty much, that's exactly the point. It doesn't matter who it is that they put there. They've sold us all out. And when you look at the way that this is playing out, they want us to all fight with each other. They want us to look at all of these people that are coming here. And I'm not talking about all the men. I'm talking about the people that came here legally, that came here for justified reasons. They came here because they had family here already. And, the crazy thing is that when it comes to the border, I think that's just another agenda to get us distracted and not paying attention to all the other crap that's going on. They could, Jimmy, but the plain and simple fact is our government's been making money with the cartel for 50 years easily. Yeah, they might throw a couple RICO cases here and there, but our government's been making money with drugs for decades and locking people up for it here, criminalizing people for it here, manufacturing fake wars to generate more money. And what they're doing now is simply causing people to get pissed about a problem that's been a problem for over 50 years here. Trafficking has been going on across the border long before this presidency and this administration. Now, people will say, it's never been worse than now. Well, I'm not going to disagree with that. But when you have 300,000 people that have just poofed into thin air that are here, that were last known to be here, then it's already a problem. And that problem has been going on for far longer than any of us, I'm sure, are really aware of, because I just don't have the time in my day to pour through the FBI stats and the Department of Justice stats to actually look at all of the data, but it's bad. And I think it is not an honest conversation to put it all on one administration when many of these people have been in office for decades. A lot of the judges have been in office and had their positions for decades. Okay. And if drugs were really a problem, then we would have a secure border. If trafficking was really a problem, we would have a secure border. If our government gave two shits about us, it wouldn't have been a problem. It would have been handled. It would have been handled. But this is not a problem that's just going on here. It happened in Canada. It's been happening over in Europe. It's been happening all over the world. Okay? And there's really not going to be a stop to it. When everything is said and done, when all the chips are on the table, when you're looking at everything at face value for what it really is, we are one of the last countries in the world that still has the rights that we have, still has the freedom that we have to speak like this and not go to jail tomorrow, to question the legality of the things that our government does, because we are giving away our rights. I'll stand on that square all day long. When you consent and register anything, You are giving away your rights. Okay? And it boggles my mind that we can still get so sidetracked and so distracted by agendas. At the end of the day, all we have is our experiences. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter what your skin color is. It's going to matter whether or not you're going to stand up with your brothers and your sisters, your human family, because there's power in unity. Okay, they told us a long time ago if we all faced the same threat, maybe that would end all the bullshit. When the New World Order had to come in, that's exactly right, Tats. They lost sovereignty. All of these countries that have had a mass influx of people, for whatever narrative it is they said it was, right? Whether they were fleeing terrorist groups, whether they were fleeing gangs and cartels, whether they were fleeing economic collapse, whether they were fleeing dictatorships and regimes. What happened was these countries became overrun by people that did not share the same beliefs, people that didn't give two shits about other people as human beings. And that's one thing that I can say that maybe might actually help us in the long run. Something that, for me, I was taught and I believe in to this day. What it means to be an American means to stand with your brothers and sisters. It means that the people that served this country, that fought for this country, that served in the military for this country, are your brothers and sisters. You fight for them. You fight for your neighbors. You fight for your family. You fight for your friends. Exactly, Robert. It's not a crisis. It's an open invitation. You can't throw a house party and say everybody's welcome and then get pissed when you get thrown out of your own house because you did it. Okay? It doesn't matter how, but they were told, come on in. All are welcome. But it hasn't been just families. And whether it's real or not, talk to other people. If you can get a handful of people together and form your own group to grow stuff, form your own collective, you got a better chance. Because 6 people growing food is better than nobody growing food. 6 people who understand that the agenda is to just take over and leave us all to fend for ourselves, because that's pretty much what they said. We got to stop looking at the agendas and falling for the same playbook, because the agenda is everybody is your enemy, right? They get too close, they're going to kill you. They all got the COVID. Whatever. For all intents and purposes, I shouldn't be here because COVID was so dangerous, right? But here I am. Here we all are, and when you look at it, it just, if it doesn't piss you off, it should. If it doesn't burn your blood, it should. Because at the end of the day, everything that we are, they want to kill, they want to destroy, they want to take away our voice, they want to take away freedom, they want to take away our ability to survive, our ability to thrive, they want to take away our future, they want to take away our kids' future. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not down for that bullshit. I want to see my girls grow up. I'm teaching them tools that they can take going forward. God willing, we got long enough for them to grow up and actually be able to put them into practice. Somehow I've sparked a love for growing things in one of my children. I've already triggered a curiosity with the other one about how long it takes to actually grow something. Okay. And these are things that they can take going forward. These are experiences. And this is knowledge that they can take going forward so that whatever the agenda is, my hope is that I've done my job, that I've given them tools, that I've helped foster a community where they can learn and given them a love for learning and a love for growing things. Because those are going to be my experiences. Those are going to be the things that I choose going forward to do. And the person that I choose to be. I'm not going to fall for this agenda. And I'm certainly not going to play into it or be part of it. We're working on her growing something besides her temper, but that's a whole nother story. She definitely has plenty of Irish and Scottish in her, you can tell. But that's a story for another day, my dear friends. I appreciate y'all for coming in. Robert, Jenna, Tats, Jimmy, thank y'all for coming in. Everybody that was watching in the clouds, thank you for coming in. Till next time, catch y'all on the flip side.